Hello everyone, it is Leon here, and I'm with
Phil,
who has been playing and reviewing Grid 2. And what did you give it?
I gave it an 8.
What got it that 8?
I think it was the feeling of speed, really. So it's very nearly Grid, but again with some different cars and some different tracks and things. Where it improves upon Grid 1, which was of course a really influential game, was in that you feel more like you're wrestling the car through each corner. You feel like it's a more sort of immediate and responsive drive.
You were talking a lot about the feedback, like you could tell the weight of a car and different feels on the track, like you could get that sort of physical feeling back. I mean, what is it doing?
So part of it is sort of under braking, the direction that the car might flap to either way, depending on where its weight is, and also when you're accelerating out of a corner, you're really aware of where the weight is. And it will give you that through this like incredible rumble feedback. It's a strange thing to bring up in a review, but yeah, the rumble really does. It's subtle, and you shouldn't notice it if it's well programmed, but it really does help you to feel like it's a car and feel like there's some weight behind it.
Okay, we saw there was sort of some YouTube stuff and some ESPN and sort of like an unusual kind of like media kind of presence. Does it do a lot of that kind of?
An awful lot, yeah. It's all about, so in Grid 1 you're a team boss, in Grid 2 you're the poster boy for the World Series of Racing, which gets picked up by ESPN. Check out the guys on the right's absolutely insane eyes, and it freaked me out so much.
So are these real people then, or?
Apparently they are. Maybe I just don't watch enough ESPN.
Yeah.
Oh, we didn't see his mental eyes.
No.
So yeah, and then you basically, your currency is fans. You do everything for fans. And so you're not a team boss
When
anymore.
you say do everything, though, I mean what? Like crash the car? Like
No,
run through the crowd?
No, it's not.
Is it just about winning?
Yeah, there's no chance for viral ad campaigns or anything like that. It's really just about winning races, and that wins you fans, and it gives you better digs like this. This is the second season garage. So in the first season you're in like an actual, just a garage of a house, and this is a bit more professional. So
there's like a story mode, like almost like a reality TV show kind of feel to it then?
It's not particularly pervasive. I mean, there are a couple of cutscenes here and there, and the ubiquitous Codemasters game guys like, hey, check out your new sponsors. Every couple of races will tell you what's been going on and what your wins have unlocked. But it's the kind of recognisable, starting from humble beginnings, building up this kind of motorsport empire that Grid and actually the Dirt games and F1 games do as well. It's that career mode by any other name. Okay,
so we're actually seeing some racing here. I mean, it looks lovely. You're talking, I think in the review you mentioned about sort of like smashing stuff up and glass. I mean, does it? What's the sort of the actual meat of the race like when you get into it?
Yeah, it's quite. It is quite. I don't want to use the word visceral, but the automotive equivalent of visceral. There's plenty of smoke and individual fragments of carbon fibre and things like that.
Yeah.
On the downside, I think in an effort to try and make the races as exciting as possible, the rubber banding, or whatever you want to call it, means the pack is quite closely bunched together at the start of the race, and then that's where all the incidents happen. And then you find when you get to like third or fourth position, the other drivers have just absolutely pinged off into the distance, and then the rest of the race, the remaining 2 laps, are just about reeling them in, and that happens alarmingly frequently.
So, I mean, how deep does it go? Is this something that people can just jump into, or is it something that you can adjust tyres by the millimetre? What's the sort of the level of, or the flexibility of it? Yeah,
well, it's actually not that flexible at all. For starters, there's no driver aids, which means that rookies can't select auto braking or something like that. But I don't think that's a massive problem. Our production editor Emma doesn't really play racing games. She came in and beat a few of us at drift mode,
which I'm sure you enjoyed.
Yeah, that was enjoyable. On the flip side of that, there's not a lot of there's no actual setting up of the car or choosing tyres or anything like that.
So it's quite light then.
It's fairly light. I mean, the handling's very involved, and you certainly can't just chuck it into a corner. But it's a little bit light, maybe.
We saw a bit of the flashback mode there. I mean, was it basically 7 rewinds?
I think it's 5.
Oh, 5 rewinds.
Yeah. This is actually a problem. I don't mean to interrupt. That camera puts you so low you feel like you're in a skeleton bob. When you get up behind a car behind you, you see nothing but that car bonnet. Small problem.
Okay, but overall, so it's accessible despite the lack of the sort of the skill kind of, or the
It is accessible, and its handling, its raw handling, is really, really enjoyable. I can't take anything away from that.
Yeah.
But I don't feel like it advanced the series in any really tangible ways. I feel like it just sort of used some grid assets and it didn't really progress it as you might expect to.
So sort of a 0.5 rather than a real sequel. Then.
Exactly. Well,
Cool. But okay, 8 out of 10. You'd still recommend it though?
I would, yeah.
Lovely. Thank you very much. And I've gone blank. I'm going to have to cut this bit out. How deep does it go? So I'll start again.